Sir.
Thank you. Manisri GVL Narasimha Rao ji, please be brief. Be brief.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. So this bill, the Telecommunications Bill 2023, it replaces two acts, primarily the archaic pre-independent British-era acts of Indian Telegraph Act and also the Indian Wireless Telegraph Act. This seeks to reform, simplify regulatory and licensing regime. I'll highlight only a few important aspects of the bill, sir. One, it simplifies the license procedures. Earlier, 100 licenses were required. Now it needs a simple authorization. One simple authorization instead of 100 licenses that were required earlier. It's a major reform aimed at ease of doing business, which has actually been the leitmotif of the current government. I'd like to congratulate Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, Honorable Minister for bringing, Shri Ashwini Vaishnav ji, for bringing in such a serious major reform measure. Sir, this requires only authorization for three aspects, that is providing telecom services, operating and expanding telecom networks, and possessing radio equipment. And any unauthorized services, telecom services, are mentioned as an offense and are punishable by either a sentence or by a penalty of 2 crores. And also possessing unauthorized equipment. So the act, the bill clearly lays out what are the various procedures and what are the procedures to be followed, and the clear punishments are also listed in this. Sir, the spectrum reform, as it was mentioned by the Honorable Minister in the Lok Sabha, the previous Indian Telegraph Act, 1885 Act, did not define spectrum clearly in that bill, in that act. But today, this is very clearly laid out in the bill, and auction, as has been the practice of the government under Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, auction will be the principal and the preferred mode for assignment of spectrum, and the spectrum will be allocated administratively by a price mentioned, a reserve price determined by the TRAI, only for certain clearly defined purposes. So certainly, the spectrum will be allocated through the administrative process for metro, community radio, broadcasting, such public interest services. It will also be allocated for government functions like defense, railways, police, security, etc. And only in certain cases like backhaul and satellite services, which includes, say, teleports, TV channels, DTH services, digital satellite news gathering, etc. So the bill, the first schedule of the bill clearly lays out such satellite services where administrative mechanism will be adopted. So the bill also specifies, as other honorable members mentioned, it clearly provides for a well-defined right-of-way framework, and telecom networks, they have been protected from any kind of arbitrary shutdowns, ceilings without any prior authorization. So in a way, this will certainly strengthen the government's support for right-of-way, and telecom companies will certainly get a better treatment for their infrastructure, and any damage or interruption or interference of telecom services will certainly be, the companies will be authorized. They can take their complaints to the district administration, and district magistrate and judge will adjudicate on such matters. Certainly, and a major relief for the telecom users. So this bill provides for user protection. The do not disturb register, which may have existed for some years, this will now get the legal mandate, and all telecom operators will be required to set up online grievance redressal mechanisms. Subsequently, to ensure better identity and security, anybody who uses SIMs or acquires SIMs fraudulently by stealing anyone's identity will certainly be made a punishable offense. So, last important point, the interception. Some people have expressed certain doubts about the provisions for interception of services, but this clearly, the bill has made no changes to the existing provisions for such interception. Whatever Supreme Court guidelines have been framed, which have been in use since 1996, they will remain unchanged, and the same safeguards and guidelines will continue. And the only change that has been made is the word telegraph in the context of interception has been replaced with telecommunication. Except that, there is no change made. Certainly, I think anyone who is talking of privacy and any kind of removal of safeguards is actually trying to mislead the public. Certainly, only on the grounds of security of state, public order, in such cases, or national calamities or disasters, only in such cases, interception will be done as per the existing provisions. Certainly, sir, this is a major reform bill, and this was certainly one, ease of living for the consumers, ease of doing business for the telecom operators. It's a great reform, and I welcome the bill, sir. I support it, and I congratulate the Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Minister for bringing in such a reform legislation. Thank you, sir.
Mani Shri S. Niranjan Reddy, please be brief.